Okay, good morning, all of you. Uh, Today's topic is business model canvas. It is relatively a new instrument, a new tool for understanding business model or strength and weaknesses of business model at one place. So it's a canvas containing 9 building blocks, wherein supposedly you should have all the aspects of the business. It's never possible to put all the aspects in 9 blocks, but it's a good effort for putting all the information in one single canvas. And we are really happy that it has been placed. That was invented in 2008 by business model canvas. I'll give the name. I must have the name later. Okay, before business model canvas, one needs to make a distinction between business model and business plan. I think I have already explained. Nevertheless, business model is the business that you do, how you create value for your customer, and how you continuously acquire customer, keep them happy so that they come repeatedly back to you. This whole thing is the business model, meaning it includes the infrastructure that you place, the technology that you are using, the competitive advantages that you have acquired, etc., etc. Everything together is the business model. And
Hello,
business
sir.
plan, yes.
Sir, your slide is not visible, sir.
Sir, visible it is. It is visible.
Okay. Some says visible. Check. Maybe you should log in again. So in the process, I got the name. Name was written here, Alexander Westerwalder. It's written right down here. So Alexander Westerwalder in 2008, he's a faculty in Stanford, I believe. He came up with this canvas. If somebody is not able to see the slides, maybe you should log in again. Perhaps you will see. So business plan is it's a document containing your plan of execution and how you're going to make money. Same thing in a document. Business plan is the business that you're proposing and containing all its aspects and features. And business plan is a document that contains your plan, what kind of business you are going to do and how you are going to achieve success. All of that is contained in business plan. So Osterwalder defined business model as a business model describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. Too simplistic, but then that is how you mention. A business model describes the rationale of how an organization. I think this is what Osterwalder has said, but it is extended that it captures value in economic, social, culture, and other context. The process of business model construction and modification is also called business model innovation and forms part of the business strategy. Business model innovation is just coming up with an idea of a business, like identifying a pain point and then exploring whether you can come up with a solution, and if you can, whether that solution is better than whatever is available, whether customers will be happier with this solution. All of that is part of business model innovation. Eventually you have to see, you can do all the good to the customer, but then are you going to make money? Number one. Number two, is it a sustainable model, meaning you are going to achieve growth and sustainably you're going to acquire increasing number of customers. That talks about market size, and then eventually business should be sustainable. So business plan is whatever is I said. Now business model innovation is about innovating new product, process, service. That's what I mentioned. Like Apple created an innovative new business model with its iPod digital, or iPod digital media player, and iTunes online music store. I talked about it while explaining leap of faith. Skype brought us cheap global calling. Now, of course, WhatsApp and many other apps are available for free calling across the world. Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. I forgot the name again. has promoted social entrepreneurship, many social entrepreneurship by extending low cost fund to the bottom of the pyramid, people at the bottom of the pyramid. Of course, there are many criticism that they are charging high interest rate, etc. So you should take everything with a pinch of salt. But then even micro credit companies in India also charges huge interest rate. Sometimes it is like 36% to 40%. They charge 3 rupees per 100 rupees per month. So that translates into more than 40%. So, but then they are they are giving this money to the bottom of the pyramid who has no other alternative source for credit. Like if they take money from money lender, they charge something like 5 rupees per 100 per month, and then they will take all the crop after farming. They take all the crop from them, so they are back to square one. In a way, microcredit companies are doing good jobs. Some of the micro lenders are extending credit at a lower rate as well. So I should not brand all of them, paint all of them with the same brush and same color. So they definitely are. But then there is that criticism as well. Now, Alexander Osterwalder came up with this single template, which is a canvas of 9 building blocks, and that is the talk of today. So why this canvas and how is it going to help you? One is when you think of innovating a business model innovation. So if this canvas is there in front of you, blank canvas, not filled in. If this blank canvas is there in front of you, then whatever idea comes to your mind, you can populate this canvas, means you can fill in the blocks or blanks, and then you can see whether you have a competitive business model or it's just like another business model which may not sustain. So at one place in one piece of paper, you can have a holistic view of your business model. That is the objective, that you have a holistic view and you don't miss out anything while thinking of the strengths and weaknesses of your business model. These blocks are arranged in a canvas called business model canvas. The heart of the canvas is the value proposition, meaning, let me just show you the canvas first, then you will be able to appreciate more. This is the canvas. So I have done a little bit of graphics here. The first canvas is the value proposition, which is at the center of the canvas. Block number 1, and that is how it has been numbered by Osterwalder. And on the right side of the screen, your right side of the screen, we have the people for whom we create value and how we reach out to them with the value so that they can avail the value. So at the far extreme, we have customer segment for whom we are creating the value. And then block number 3 is a channel through which we create awareness that we have a wonderful value proposition. You should come and test it or maybe avail that and then be happy. In the process, we make money. And then on the top, number 4 is how we sustain that value transfer, meaning we create some relationship, long-term relationship through brand, through trust, through in improving the value of the customer, value for money of the customer. So that is customer relationship. And at the bottom of our right side, in the process of giving the value to the customers and maintaining long-term relationship, they give us money, and that is what is revenue. And after revenue, on our left, okay, that is the right side. Let us go to the left side. Left side, we have everything that goes into creating the value. Right side is how we disseminate or dispense the value. On the left side is how we create the value. So block number 8 are the key partners who help us to create this value. Partners can be, we'll discuss it further. So key partners can be your banker, your investor, your technology provider. Suppose you take a technology from IIT, or maybe IIT helps you to do something, whatever that is. So all are key partners. Even sometimes key suppliers also key partners, not always, but sometimes. Then number 7 is the key activities. What you do to transform raw material into finished products that are used by the customer, that carries the value. Whatever that is, that may be a software, that may be a hardware, or any product. Then have key resources. Resources facilitate to transform raw material into finished goods. That may be technology, that may be your patent, copyright, your software, your many other things that are used as resources. Even raw material is a resource, suppliers are resource, even fund can be resource in some context. Then using all of that, and everything costs money. So using resources, while using resources, you incur some cost, and then you have to optimize the cost, meaning reduce the cost as far as possible, so that whatever revenue you get, you deduct cost from that. So revenue minus your cost becomes your profit. So ultimate objective is to earn profit and sustain the business. So on the right side is how you are earning revenue. On the left side, what are the cost elements and how to eliminate, as far as possible, eliminate the cost. And eventually, when you populate all the blocks in this canvas, you have a fair idea how you're going to run the business. Okay, I did not discuss about value proposition at the center. We defined it many times. Moreover, today's lecture is also veers around value proposition. So there are many slides on value propositions. So let us move forward first. Then these are some foundational blabbering. 7 out of 10 flops. All the money resources goes down the drain. So meaning that you should be very careful when you plan your business model, so that you don't enact another story of failure. So how you can do that? You can take care, you can resort to lean startup, you can have the business model canvas ready and see whether you are really creating value for yourself. You create value for the customer, that is the primary thing. If you create value for the customer at a competitive rate, competitive cost, then obviously you make money. So even though making money may be your primary objective, but then unless you create value for the customer, you're not going to make any money for yourself. So see how easy it is to create value, provided you can pinpoint the right pain. And I mentioned the other day that empathizing is the best way to create enterprises that are going to give you a lot of value. So there are many examples. I talked about Fanindra Sama of Red Bus. He could not get a bus while going to in-laws place during Pongal, and he was sad. And he thought, why this should be like this, that I take all my luggage and reach to the bus stand, only to realize that I can't get a seat because today is overcrowded day. So there should be something to book a ticket in advance, so that when I reach to the bus stand, I'm amply sure that I do have a seat. And when I telephone my in-laws place that I'm coming on so and so date, I don't miss that. I don't disappoint anybody. So he sat with some of the colleagues and then came up with a software, and that became that is an app for online booking of bus tickets. Eventually he created a lot of value for himself, a lot of value for many people, and then eventually it translated into value for him. He is now an evangelist, he is now an angel investor and whatnot. He's a man of more than $100 million. He was just an executive in Infosys, maybe a fresh recruiter, not fresh, but just a few years of experience. But now he is more than $100 million. He created $100 million value for himself. Now look at this guy, Kevin. He was filling a form. It's something like Google form. there were many companies giving online forms for survey. But then he found these forms are absolutely idiotic, meaning it's not intelligent enough to take the data the way you want them to take, and it's cumbersome. Somebody needs a lot of efforts to make a form. It was very difficult. Then he thought perhaps many people like me also felt the same way. So he was trying to empathize with himself. In the process, he was trying to empathize with many other people. So he thought, let me do something. Then he started building an app where people can create form. And then at some point of time, he raised some money also for him. That was $1,18,000. It's less than a crore rupees. But then very soon, he founded in 2006, but he sold this company in 2011 with hardly any money spent, only 0.01 million, point 0.1 million, $0.1 million spent, and he sold it for $35 million. He gave 29,000% return to his investors, and his return is more than infinite percent, something like infinite percent, because he did not invest much of money there. So just try to understand how this value was created. It is, we encounter this problem every now and then everywhere, and we become exasperated as to why this should be like this. This is idiotic. We curse left and right. We keep cursing left and right wherever we go, whatever we do, whichever website we visit. We start blaming these people. We use the word idiot every now and then. We don't understand that this offers an opportunity. Whenever there is a pain, wherever there is a pain, that is an opportunity. So a value proposition, I defined it too many times. You read it from there. I don't want to bore you more. Know your customer's aspiration. First of all, customer pain, and then beyond pain, you should understand the aspiration, their liking, disliking, etc. So to understand aspiration, if you know customers, that doesn't give you the right idea. You should understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When people are at the bottom of the pyramid, they're looking for food. They're not looking for aesthetics. When people are at the top of the pyramid, they don't give a damn about money, value, or anything. They talk about esteem and self-actualization. Can you give them something by which they think that they have done a wonderful job for the society? Like Bill Gates, you send a proposal to Bill Gates saying that if you fund my company, you are going to reach out to 1 million people, and they will think that their life has been changed. Whether it will be changed or not, if you can convince that these people will think that their life has changed for the better, Bill Gates will be all for you. He will immediately jump for this opportunity. He will think that before me, nobody should invest in this company. So depending on which kind of target audience you are targeting, your value perception, means what kind of value they are looking for, will depend. Suppose you are thinking of a group of people who are in the clerical cadre, meaning their income will be something like 30 to 40 to 50,000 rupees a month. So they will be looking, suppose you are a tour operator, maybe an innovative tour operator. There are many IIT students team who are toying with this idea of making a tour operator, giving customers a wonderful experience, meaning they want to take people to different places, maybe exotic places, and then give them the hands-on experience of some kind of say what is this called, like pottery or this artisan, whatever they do, so maybe a handloom operation or something, so that your tour is not only looking at the beautiful scenery, beautiful nature or something, but also get assimilated with the people, share their culture or something, and then learn bit of their art, so that you'll feel kind of cherished, that I know how to operate a handloom, or I have used a potter's wheel, and that gives unmeasurable happiness. They come back and keep talking to others. You know, I know this, I have used this, etc., etc. Then they participate in their, you know, folk dance, maybe folk songs, maybe, etc. So this is wonderful things. Now, suppose you are targeting some people with income range of up to 30,000. And these people will not be so much interested in five-star luxuries. They will be okay living in a rural settings, like a house without maybe a wall or without air conditioning. But then if you target something like, say, people with income of 2 lakh 3 lakh rupees a month, then your target will be more interested in comfort than, you know, both, meaning comfort as well as that. So you have to think where you are going to put them up if you are inviting some people who can afford. So likewise, whenever you are developing a product, you need to really understand your customer well and where in this Maslow's pyramid they are situated. In the process, you can create a perfect buyer's persona, meaning you define their persona. So it's something like a semi-fiction person who represents your ideal customer, that my customer, his income is like this, so he's looking for comfort, or he is not interested in aesthetic beauty or social this thing. Suppose you are a company and suppose your company manufactures something that pollutes the environment. Now, suppose you have a unique technology to get rid of or alleviate this concern. Now, you approach to investors who are interested in social value. So you go and tell them that, look, many other companies are also manufacturing this, but they are polluting the atmosphere, environment. Whereas we have come up with something that doesn't pollute the environment. So these people will be interested in invest. Normally, investors are not at all concerned about environmental aspects of an enterprise. So if your audience is not those kind of guys, then it's no point focusing on this environmental aspect, because your investor under that context will think that, what do I care for? I am interested in multiplying my money, and you are putting that money for some fancy environmental thing. So I am going to become poorer, and you are going to derive some pleasure out of it by doing something for the environment. So they may not be interested in investing. So depending on your audience, you should, like Will Grow. Will Grow is a social venture capitalist. So you talk to Will Grow that you are doing something for the environment, or maybe for the downtrodden or poor people, they will be more interested. So when you are going to go to Will Grow, you focus on this aspect of the business, whereas in other cases you focus on something different. Now, value proposition, as I mentioned yesterday, perhaps while talking about differentiator, value proposition also is almost similar, but with little bit of a difference. Here it is just what the customer might appreciate, not what competitors are offering. So definitely there is a comparison between competitors, because suppose your efficacy is good but not good enough that is offered by the competitors, then it's not going to be good. So competitors are always there at the back of your mind, that competitors are offering this, so I must offer a better product in terms of those values. So all these are part of value proposition, meaning you can improve any of them or many of them or all of them to convey to your customer that I have better value for you. Like we talked about Iridium, and we know that Iridium came up with a product without doing market research, that whether customers are really looking for this service. There was no doubt that customers were interested in communication anytime, any point to point, any point from any point, that there was no doubt. But whether customers ready to pay so much money, whether customers was ready to carry such a huge box with them for communicating from anywhere to anywhere, that was not there. So eventually they failed miserably, because they did not do the market research. They did not try to understand whether customer will perceive this as a unique value proposition. So they failed on value proposition, as is already known. Now, thankfully, Alexander Osterwalder has also come up with a value proposition canvas, not just a business model canvas, but also a value proposition canvas to tell us how it should look like and what we should do. Interestingly, he also gave us something like a slogan. He gave us a format to write your value proposition so that you can convey it to a customer. It's like a slogan, not really a slogan, but it's a statement. So like Uber says that the smartest way to get around, meaning there will be a tagline and that is their value proposition. Smartest way to get around. The experience is the product, Apple iPhone, Digit, etc. Now, to talk about the value proposition canvas, I took it from the video. The link is very much here. Strategizer.com canvas value proposition, and this has been given by Osterwalder himself. Of course, there is a lady's voice, but it is Osterwalder. You should see the video. I don't have the video here. That is the link. Otherwise, I could have shown it. It takes hardly 2-3 minutes to see. So ideally, I should have actually brought it here. It's free.
Can you
Free is
paste
this. Pardon?
Could you please paste the link in the chat?
You do it later. Don't do it now. I'll share the slides right immediately after this class. Otherwise, it will be a distraction. Just hold it for half an hour or so. I'll definitely give. If you don't get it, I'll make it available. Whatever it takes it. But it is not at the top of the screen. You have to scroll down and then you get the video. Yes. So. This is part of the value proposition. We are just reaching to the value proposition. Value proposition involves two different entities. One is the customer, another is the product. One is the customer, another is the product. So customers want you, or you means the entrepreneur, to get some jobs done. Meaning they have something to do, maybe some fixing the kitchen sink, or maybe they want to buy a pair of shoes for jogging, or maybe a cell phone. So they have something to do, some works to do, and they want somebody to perform that. That is a business opportunity. Now there may be already some solutions available, but then that solutions perhaps are not good enough. So they have still some pain associated in this whole execution of the job. So customers have jobs to be done, and there are some unmet pain. Unmet pain is the term. And then customers also want that in the process, if it comes with some bonuses, nothing like that. They will be more than happy to have the bonus. So this is the customer segment side. Customer who wants to get some job done, and you think that you can do that job. So this customer is your segment. Within your customer segment, you have to always define a market segment. A market segment is a group of people. They may be scattered at different places, but they have similar kind of pains, and they are looking for similar kind of gains, and they have similar jobs to do. So you want to build a solution to do these three things for them. So that is how you define a market segment. And now you have defined a market segment. So you know that your customer has these jobs to be done. They have this pain. They're looking for some gain. Can I do that? So this is one side of the story. And then you have the product in your mind, that I have a product that does these services. So definitely whatever the customers are looking for, the jobs to be done, my product does that job. But then my product also relieves the pains that other people are relieving, meaning whatever pain is there, my product serves that, alleviate that pain, or help customer overcome that pain. Now you think that I have some gains as well, meaning on top of the things that my competitors are giving, I can actually give much more. So from the gain creator, customer will gain something more. So customers will discard this existing solution because they want to get rid of the pain, and they will accept your product because you are not only doing the job, not only relieving the pain, but also giving some gain. That is how your product is superior, and that is what I mean by superiority of all of that. Very quickly, I have taken it from internet, so it's not my creation, but I did that, meaning everything is done by me. So that is all the value I created. But I'm telling this because this taxi aggregator thing is all across the internet. Most of the people target this while driving the concept of value proposition, because it is so direct, so obvious, and understanding also becomes so obvious. That is why I also have adopted this. Now, when you are standing on the street at a gully, maybe narrow gully, you are looking for a taxi, you will find that even in 1 hour, a taxi may not pass by. And if some taxi comes, you will find that completely booked. Somebody else has booked. So the problems were plenty. There's huge problem, unthinkable. If you just close your eyes and try to imagine that Uber, Ola is not there, you will find life becomes a hell in cities where you have to depend on taxis for transport. If you have your own car, there's no problem. But then even having own car is a huge problem if there are parking space constraint. It becomes very difficult. You will keep on driving and you will not find a parking space at places. Okay, forget about that. And then with the existing taxi system, there are so much of problem. You wait, taxi wala would be overcharging. If you do not know the route, he will you take it from a longer route and charge you more, compete with other customers, like there would be always queue, and you stand in the queue and you end up not getting it, unsafe drivers, etc. Now you are relieving customers of all the pains. You assign a driver and his identity is known. You have better cost structure compared to traditional taxis. One can instantly book or book in advance, then no cash transaction, etc., etc. On top of that, you give professional driver, so he is not likely to misbehave or cheat. Of course, there are incidences, but then human will be human. It's very difficult to make a foolproof system. We can't help it. So let's not discuss about that. Schedule a trip, meaning even if you are going from here to say Athens, perhaps you can schedule a trip here itself. I did go to Athens and I actually booked a taxi from here and I found the taxi was waiting for me. Then rating system, loyalty point, visual, etc., etc., etc. So obviously you are giving a better service, and that is your customers love Uber, love Ola, and whatnot. They have no dearth of customers. That is how a business model, but that is how a value proposition is normally conceived. You conceive the value proposition through this canvas and you come up with that. Okay, so you should clearly define so that it becomes so obvious to the customers that yes, this is a good value for me. First of all, it should be clear to you. Second of all, it should be obvious to all your team members. The moment you explain, guys, look at this is our value proposition, then people should say, wow. People should not say, I'm not very sure whether customers are going to value this, that, etc. Then there's nothing. Just don't try to clarify to others. Don't try to clarify. If you are trying to clarify, you should know then and then that there is no value proposition, or customers are not going to understand that we have some value proposition. If customers do not understand, then what good that is. Now, Osterwalder has said that this may be a format for value proposition statement. Our product or service helps customer segment, means help you guys who want to be this job by a company or something, or through whatever means, and means whatever jobs they want to do. You may also add a mild criticism of the competing products in general, but not too harsh. Then if you write too harsh, then customers will think that you are bragging too much, you are too proud of things, and people who are too proud, they are not genuine. So people will look upon them with suspiciousness. So the full statement is like this. Our book, meaning the book that Osterwalder wrote, our book helps business professionals who want to improve and or build a business by gaining latest knowledge or strategies and gaining deep insight, unlike books without focus on the real issue. This is the value proposition that Alexander Osterwalder mentioned in his book, just to drive home the point. This is things placed in a graphical manner. So this is another value proposition. It is about, this is a case that I have built. So gradually moving forward, we'll be taking this case about example of a 10 karat gold jewelry. We are yet to discuss, so I'll not spend too much time. We are halfway through. Let me talk about value proposition canvas first. We may not come back to this slide, that slide. So you just read it there. I promise that I'll be revisiting the slide number 2 perhaps, and I'm still remembering. So don't think I'm skipping, I'll get back. Okay, so as I said, of course, Osterwalder doesn't say that right side is value and left side is efficiency. It is, sorry, Osterwalder says right side is value, left side is efficiency. Not the way I mentioned, that right side is not only the value, but where, to whom you give the value, who are the target audience, and how you reach out to them, how you send the value, etc., how you build a long-term relationship so that you can give the value on a sustainable basis, and then eventually you can earn some revenue. On the right side, left side is the efficiency, meaning all those partners, activities, then key resources, they help you to produce whatever you are producing efficiently. In the process, you reduce the cut costs, and eventually the cost goes below the revenue and you make some profit. So this is the whole logic, and this is the things put in a graphic. I wish I could do it better. So first of all, value proposition, I have already explained. What is a value proposition? It is whatever jobs that you are doing, and whatever, however way you are solving the pain, with what superior efficacy and other things. And then third is, what is the gain that you are giving to your customer. So that precisely explains value proposition. And depending on your value proposition, you are going to acquire customer. If your value proposition does not entice them into your story, then it's not going to help you. So these are explanation of the value proposition. Whatever I said, you just follow that. Second is customer segment. So customer segment, as I said, are the people of similar need, number one, then similar status, similar aspiration. Aspiration should subsume the status part. So there are a lot of people in the world or in the country. Now you target some people who need some common type of a product. One single product can solve a pain that are associated with those people. So these are the market segment. Now many people have the pain of getting an iPhone, but many people cannot afford. So obviously those who cannot afford, they are not part of the segment. Why define a segment and why come to a narrow group of people is like this. When you know that your product is relevant for a handful of people and they flock together at some point, meaning they have some kind of a connectivity in whatsoever method, then it is easy to reach out. In today's world, advertisement has become granular, meaning you can reach out to small groups of people using a very specific social media network, or maybe through some YouTube video, etc. All the videos are not looked by everybody. Some people will be looking for a specific kind of video, and if those are the people that you are looking forward to create an awareness about your product, then obviously you will be trying to advertise or put something there, or maybe you yourself will be making a video of that will be useful to those people, so that when they will be searching the YouTube for similar kind of things, your video will be at the top or maybe at the first page, and then those people will click there. In the process, they will get to know about your product. At some point of time, you will be talking about it. At least you will be making them aware that, look, there is something like this you should be aware of, and there is a product who serves this or something. So that is why you define a customer segment. For many other reasons, to understand your customer better, to define their problem, to build a solution, and then to get your product validated. All of that are necessary requirement for which you define a market segment. Then the third is, okay, this is about market segment. More about market segment, I discussed all of that. Third is channel. Channel is, listen carefully, how you create the awareness to the customer segment about your value proposition. You have a wonderful value. Suppose many people have pain and you have a solution. Say whatever that is. I'm not getting it right away, but suppose there is a pain in people and you have the solution. Say for example, IIT Kharagpur execute many projects, research projects. IIT Kharagpur executes many research projects. The number will run into 1,000. Now we look for research scholars who can take up this project. But then on the other side, there are at least tens of thousands of people who are looking for an opportunity to come to IIT and do research and get a PhD. But we have no common media where we can reach out to them. It is so difficult to really get a one-on-one communication that, look, you are a guy who has all these expertise and I have a project that requires these expertise for executions, and we can team together. You get some money and PhD, I get my project done. And this is not just a unique example, it is there everywhere. If you have a product, without your knowledge, there are many people around the world who are looking for this product, but you do not know them. So you have to reach out to them to create an awareness that, look, I have a product that you're looking for. So there should be a channel through which you reach out. Like this YouTube is a channel, like anything social, any other social media is a channel through which you reach out. That is number one. Number two, you have to send the product effectively, efficiently, so that customer receives that at the doorstep. So if you have a home delivery system, that is the logistic part, then customers will appreciate it better than those who are not providing this delivery more efficiently. Like somebody has a birthday party, maybe day after tomorrow, and your product reaches there maybe a week after tomorrow. Then they will not appreciate. But suppose you surprise them, it reaches exactly when he's blowing the candle, or maybe just before that. Will give them so much excitement and wonderful experience that they will never forget your company, or it reaches much before, something like that. Whatever, that is just to give the example. So this is about channel. Whatever I said, they all, including all of them. So advertising, reaching out to them, then delivery, then after sale service, then whatever communication you would like to make. Suppose there is an upgrade of your product. Maybe you don't want to give it free, right? Suppose you sell a cell phone. Now you come up with a wonderful pod or iPod. What is that called? I think it's called pod. That is there in for a speaker, remote speaker, on a wireless speaker or something. You come up with a product. You want to reach out to your existing customers, saying that if they are happy with the phone, they will definitely know that your product actually is wonderful. So without much effort, you can acquire new customers. Then customer relation. It is very important to build relationship. Business is not like you sell to somebody and that somebody has become a customer and he's gone. Business is keeping that customer for a long-term long-term relationship. Like the customer should get cemented every now and then. Every customer that comes to you, they buy, and then they get new experience, they get new surprises. First time they buy, they think, wow, this product is good. I didn't know that this brand is so good. Then you give some service and then they say, wow, I never expected this. Nobody does this. So gradually you create relationship through trust, through transfer of values. Maybe sometimes you send a message, happy birthday to you and your family, or New Year or something. Whatever the value, send a calendar, a digital calendar that doesn't cost anything, but that has wonderful graphics and some very critical knowledge about history, about science, about health, about COVID, maybe. So they become surprised that this is good. We did not knew this. I did not know this. So this is wonderful. Something like that. So you create a long lasting relationship through all of that. So that whenever you come up with a new product or whenever customers recommend to buy something that you produce, they will always recommend your name, your company brand, and they will also buy. And then there are some explanation you should look into. Fifth is revenue model. So whatever you do, eventually you want to earn some money. Now you may earn money directly, you may earn money indirectly. The other day when Ankur was giving a presentation, one of the students very correctly mentioned the revenue model of the company. And I believe that among you guys, there are many students who are already conversant about whatever I am saying, because IIT students are the most talented ones and they keep reading. So whatever I read, perhaps they also read at some point or the other, and maybe they are from their own cognitive skills they can extrapolate things. So maybe there are students who are already more knowledgeable than me. It's quite possible. So revenue model is either you charge some fees for your service or product. So you sell the products, you get some money. That is number one. Number two, sometimes you gain money by, say, updates. Every time, of course, for cell phone updates, they don't charge money. But then if you have a critical software for updates, you can, not for updates, but you can come up with a new version. So a new version, which is nothing but an update of the old version. So rather than saying that it's an update, you can say that this is a new version. And then for existing customers, this version will be made available at half the cost. So they will not mind to receive update for a fees. Get this point. You should not say that this is an update and we are charging money for the update. Then people will not buy. They will have a bad notion about your brand. So there may be updates, there may be services that you give, there may be paid service on a periodical basis like Netflix, or even for some hardware product also, meaning if you are giving maintenance free of charge, maybe say warranty. Suppose you sell a cell phone and you say that first year warranty is free, from second year you should pay me this, I will renew the warranty, then you have a worry free life, something like that. So you can imagine there can be not endless, there can be many alternative ways of collecting revenue without really bluffing, without really cutting the pockets of the customers, because you want to give them value for every penny that you earn. So you can come up with something by which you can alleviate at least a part of residual pain and charge money. People will not mind. So whatever that is. And then there is always that advertisement revenue. And nowadays people are using their website, their whatever, like you are an e-commerce company, people say that by through e-commerce company you can earn revenue through advertisement, but it's very difficult to earn advertisement revenue from e-commerce. It can be earned through an education portal, or maybe some portal where you are giving free GAN or something. But if you are running an e-commerce company and push advertisement on the landing page, then it's going to be very difficult to move forward. Sorry, it's very difficult to get, because people are not forgiving about that. Nobody wants advertisement at the means unless they are interested or you are giving something free. So revenue stream is very important, and it is one of the most important part of business model canvas, because this is where you are getting something back. Otherwise it will be all drain out. As I mentioned while talking about financial statements, that sales is the only place when money comes in. All other areas, all other items are draining of money. So it's almost like a bucket where water is pouring from the top, and there are umpteen number of holes through which water is passing away, and whatever is residing, whatever is the residual part that is not able to pass through the holes, innumerable holes, that remains as profit. So imagine and you'll appreciate revenue stream is so very important. Key resources, as I said, whatever facilitates your activities are key resources. So maybe you have IPR, maybe technologies, that is one of the key resources. Copyright may be a resource, but then don't overemphasize on IP, emphasize on patent. Don't too much emphasize on copyright or something. Of course, if you have a what is that called? Trade secret. Trade secret is the word. I'm not very sure. Yeah, trade secret. Sure. If you have some trade secret of your own, it is called trade secret, but it is actually some technology for which you have not filed patent. Meaning you don't want public to know about it. Okay, we have to run fast. So if you have some trade secret that is more valuable than patent, provided nobody gets to know about it. Like say Coca-Cola has a formula and that formula is more than 100 years old. Nobody knows what formula that is. They have not filed a patent. If they would have filed a patent, that would be valid for 20 years. Number one. Number two, somebody or the other will read their patent and will get the formula. They will tweak the formula a little bit and then they will start manufacturing the same thing with maybe a better taste than Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola will be out of business. So that is why patent, copyright and all that are not so is foolproof. But then trade secret, if that goes as just like Coca-Cola formula, it cannot be reverse engineered. If something cannot be reverse engineered and you don't file a patent, that remains as something very worthwhile, valuable asset, intangible asset. Key activities that you do for performing whatever is necessary to convert raw material into finished goods. Then key partners, I have already mentioned. Cost structure. So this whole thing, actually this number 786, they ultimately lead to cost, because for key activities you need raw material, you need utilities, you need labor, etc., all of that. So that leads to huge amount of cost. So you must have a fair idea about cost structure, meaning when you think of the business model innovation, new business model innovation, you must know that this is the cost structure, so that you can make a decision whether to move ahead or not to move ahead with this idea. Otherwise, you will move ahead and then realize that this is not going to give you any profit. So this is the key resources. Read it later. Then key activities I have already mentioned, and then key partners. Sorry, key cost structure. Then this is the one that was shown by Alexander Osterwalder in his book called Business Model Generation. Business Model Generation by Alexander Osterwalder. You can read the book. It has become one of the key books in the library of all the entrepreneurs. And this is a taxi aggregator business model canvas. I took it from somewhere, but I added a lot of points. So let us, do I have time? Yes, some 5 minutes. So taxi aggregator. See, value proposition, what value you give: easy booking, easy payment, direction, because you have GPS, safety, competitive rate, transparent rate, you know what is the per kilometer rate, scheduled tour in advance, no waiting, pick up from home, no parking, good interior. This good interior can be given by anybody, so this may not be a value proposition, part of value proposition. If something is given by everybody, that is not part of value proposition. Whatever unique you are giving, that is the more important value proposition. Then comes customer segment. Segment is people commuting daily, working people, tourists.
Sir, is value proposition same as innovation?
No, not at all. Not at all. Innovation is absolutely different. Yes, value proposition. No, value proposition is different than innovation. You do innovation to give value proposition, means create value proposition possible. You resort to innovation for building or creating value proposition. Like say easy booking, easy payment, direction, safety. All of that were invented. All these services were invented by Uber or maybe Ola, whosoever came first. So they discovered or invented these services and put it inside the taxi so that customers get access to it. But yeah, innovation may lead to value proposition. You have to invent the value proposition or discover whatever that is. Then customer segment by profession, segment by age. Maybe children are not booking taxis or very old people are not. Likewise, depending on your product, you have to decide on market segment. Customer relationship, sorry, channel fast. So phone application is one of the channel through which they reach. Computer, call center, they have a call center. Then Google advert, they advertise through Google. Then maybe sponsoring some event where they will be putting placard, etc. Customer relationship, through security you offer unique value proposition, so as customer takes your value, they become loyal to you. So all of that creates customer relationship. Security, feedback, loyalty bonus. Loyalty bonus is another thing that ties you up, means you get tied up with the company. You accumulate loyalty points. Obviously you want to encash them, so you have to book their services, and when you book it you get further loyalty bonuses. So it's a cascading effect that leads to a long-term relationship. Then key resources, hardware resources, that is your innovation. Software that you have created using top technocrats. Other people may take time to copy that. Then contract with key partners, like if there are suppliers, if there are other key partners, like say whatever that is. So if you have a contract with them, that is also key resources. Key employees, if you are able to recruit wonderful people, like top people, and then if you can retain them, that is some key resource. Manage the booking, that is their job, Ola, Uber. Then optimize vehicle logistic, meaning you try to send the vehicle which is closest to the person. If there is no taxi, if there are taxis, but if you think that another taxi is coming from far away place and then it will reach directly at the spot, so rather than booking a standby taxis, you try to hold it for a while and then etc. Maintain customer registration, travel record, etc. Who are the key partners for taxi aggregator? Individual car owners are partner, transport operators, digital wallet companies, technology provider, advertisement agencies, driver association, hardware provider. Then what are the cost? Hardware cost, because they give a cell phone to the driver. Of course, driver has to buy that. Software maintenance cost, employee cost, network booking cost, internet cost, hosting cost, what not. Now, there are some criticism. One is it doesn't give everything. I started by saying that business model canvas is one place for all the information about the strength and weaknesses of a business model, which is not true. It doesn't give many things. Like for exogenous competition, it doesn't talk about anything. It doesn't talk about the Porter's 5 forces, competitive forces that are existing in the marketplace. So it doesn't talk about many things you should explore. I have mentioned some of the things like entry barrier, how your business will be scaling, then how you're going to, what is that, in terms of diversity of businesses. So it's not simplistic, etc. That's it. So these are the references. Osterwalder, read this book. You can download perhaps free, maybe. Then there are others. This is a summary of the thing. Business model canvas explains how business creates and delivers value. Create understanding of business model is critical for successful running of the business. Business model canvas is almost like a ready reckoner for conceiving various aspects of the business. However, it has limitation. Thank you. So I don't know if there are questions. Just a second. Just hold it for a while. I have to take the attendance. Okay, done. So it's what time? Yeah, it's just 1 past 10. If you have a question, I'm here to answer. Otherwise, I will call it quit. Yeah, I have started answering that Excel sheet. Yesterday, I didn't check. I'll check today. So if there are questions on the Excel sheet, I'll definitely answer. So everybody should visit once in a while to see what kind of questions are being asked and what are the answers, because question answer will definitely form part of the class test and exams. Because I'm spending a lot of time. You look into the earlier session question answers also, because they are also relevant questions and relevant answers. Thank you.